that Batman is celebrating his first appearance by cel-shading himself in blue. Here's your look brand new McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, Detective Comics number 27, McFarlane Platinum Edition, Batman. Batman has dedicated his life to an endless crusade, a war on all criminals in the name of his murdered parents, who were taken from him when he was just a child. Since that tragic night, he has trained his body and his mind to near physical perfection to be a self-made superhero. He's developed an arsenal of technology that would put most armies to shame, and he's assembled teams of his fellow heroes like Justice League and the Outsiders. In the name of his murdered parents, Bruce Wayne wages eternal war on the criminals of Gotham City. He is vengeance. He is the night. He is Batman. Bruce has been fighting crime since 1939, and the Bats hasn't missed a beat, except for a few sticky situations he got stuck in with big giant traps made by the Clown Prince of Crime, and of course getting his back broken by the Bane. Yeah, that might have sidelined him for a while, but for the most part, he hasn't missed a beat. Speaking of not missing a beat, this also uses the same Batman body as the original Detective Comics number 27, as you probably already would have figured that out. The figure, though, is going to stand the same. He's 7¼ inches in height, when this Batman's 18½ centimeters tall. Sliding over the Platinum Edition Batman and segueing ourselves to the retail release Batman that we've already had a look at here on this channel. Bodies are, yes, going to be the same. Bodies are also the same ones used for the Hush Batman that has been used probably like 5-6 times now already. What they've done obviously different is retooled a brand new head sculpt to sport the longer ears as seen in Detective Comics number 27, giving him now a brand new fabric cape looking really good on both figures, and of course tooling a brand new utility belt. Still, though, I can't help but think that maybe using this Batman body was better. Being that Batman was a little leaner back then, he wasn't a big bulk mass that he is now, I think it would have made a little bit more sense maybe that they utilized the Nightfall Batman body instead. Similar accessories come packed along with the Platinum Edition that came also included with the retail release. First, you get yourself a black display stand that isn't really as black this time around. It looks as if almost the sun's been shining down on this for hours. I'm sure it's just the way it came off the factory line that not every version of this Batman's going to come include with this faded stand. Nothing has changed, though. It still has the DC logo branded down below, and off to the corner there is a peg that can plug into either one of Batman's boots. He has 2 boots. He has 1 peg. Choose wisely. Off to the side, the figure also comes include the same Detective Comics number 27 trading card. Yes. The card on the front, of course, does depict the first appearance of Batman all the way back from 1939 in May. 10 cents. 10 cents. That's all it would cost you back then to collect comics. Of course, back then, the cost of living and what you were actually making for a salary was a lot less as well. So 10 cents, you may think to yourself, I could just travel back in time and I could just buy like 1,000 of these. You have to realize also as well, you'd have to make sure your currency does match. Because I thought that as well. If I could somehow build myself a time machine, hey, I've got money, I could go back in time. But no, you can't use the money that you have now. You have to go back and be able to acquire old money. And to try to track down old money now, the cost of that money would even be more expensive than what the money was actually worth at the time. On the back of the card, though, the real name is Bruce Wayne. The paragraph read, you can read for yourself, isn't so much a paragraph. It looks like it's several paragraphs all sort of stuck together, but it gives us the general idea. It gives us the sense of what Batman is actually doing. And again, it's not a bad trading card. It's no different really than the one that we got with the other Batman. We're just going to move it off to the side. It's going to probably go in the same trading card sheet, right next door to the other Detective Comics number 27 trading card. Moving this guy now front and center, the accessories that come included with the Batman are the same wrench. The same wrench looks like it's molded also in the same exact coloring of blue plastic. This can also be in his hands, although he's not going to be able to hold them right now because he has closed fists. Not going to be fixing the problem at all. The figure also does have relaxed hands, which again, I can't help but feel, I'm just going to reach off to the side and grab one of the ones from Batman from before, that the fingers once again seem stumpy, almost as if these aren't his real hands inside. That he's taken the gloves off and he's just left it somewhere on the counter. Alfred's always going around having to pick up Batman's old gloves, but it doesn't look like there's actually fingers inside these hands. It looks like the fabric is just too relaxed. Does that make any sense? I hope it makes sense. But you get 2 of these. You can be displayed with Batman. What I do prefer instead is that the figure also comes included with grasping hands, gestured hands, dynamic hands. You can use these hands, by the way, and you can take the wrench. Like, I still have yet to figure out a way to really properly hold the wrench. The other Batman also still had the same struggle. The way he holds it, it looks like he holds actually a syringe rather than a wrench. I mean, you could have it like this way, but that doesn't make sense either. And you're probably thinking, well, couldn't you just have it this way? Well, you could, but again, it just doesn't look like the hands really belong to holding a wrench. By the way, though, if you did want to change out the hands, you're just going to hold on to the forearm for dear life. Wiggle the hand from the provided peg, pop that off. You don't have to make a noise while you're doing it. Pop a new hand then in, and now you have yourself mauling hands. Now, you couldn't probably help but notice that the mauling hands on this Batman is actually a little bit different than the original Batman. Batman's being purple before are now blue here, so there's a little bit of color variations between the two. I mean, sure, if you wanted to, you could also just take the blue hands off if you prefer blue hands and just replace it with the purple gloves instead. By the way, this also gives us an opportunity as well. I can show you guys the differences between the head sculpts. There are no differences except for one. The obvious reflection of light, of course, now is on the top of Batman's cowl. It is also on the inside of his ears. The original Batman didn't have that. The bodies are going to be exactly the same. The utility belts and also down below the legs, arms are all exactly the same as well. And even like the capes are identical too. What I really liked about the initial Batman was the fact that the material, first of all, that they used was really a good quality, but that they also added a wire built inside the side frame of the cape, so you can manipulate it and bend it any which way that you want. If you want to have Batman's cape blowing in the wind, you could certainly do that. Hey, that's no magic. I'm not holding it right now. That's the power of the wire. And of course, you can also do that as well with this version of Batman. This version of Batman, though, now has the inclusion of the additional blue on the interior, which I got to say, like, the blue does really add a lot to Batman. If you aren't really even as keen the idea that they added all this blue on his forehead and down below here on his boots, I'm sure you may take away from this the fact that at least the inside of the cape does look actually really quite snazzy. Again, it just brings a lot of extra color there as well. Going back, by the way, to the light that he has on the top of his cowl, it's only really suggested here on the top. So if you were to look at this, the light is probably then shining down right from the top, right? And obviously, if it was shining from the front, he'd have more blue in the front of his face. So the light is sort of shining down this way. Down below is the only other indication that he does actually have that blue, as they've striped it down the side of his boots, and they also striped it across the front feet section of his boots as well. Now, again, if you're looking at the light source, yes, is coming down this way. So I would have liked it also if they could have added a little bit of blue here on his trunks. It just seems so out of place that the trunks are the only thing that doesn't actually get the additional blue. Everything else that's black, except for his cape, but the cape has it on the interior. But I mean, at least if you're going to have it here and you're going to have it here, it'd be nice if they could have put something here as well. Just a little squiggle of blue, I think would have been fine. I mean, again, if you want to really analyze the way the light is coming down, if it's coming and hitting the top of his head, then it probably isn't going to be hitting the side of his leg like this, unless it's a big giant spotlight. And if that's the case, it's probably going to be shining across the front of his trunks as well. Articulation on this guy, by the way, is it going to be exactly the same as the other Batman from before? So one thing is that this Batman and the Hush Batman across the board have all used this, is that the head is going to be attached to the neck permanently. There's no way to really separate the two. I mean, it does give you at least a seamless look to the head. I know some people really like the additional articulation of having that in the head as well, so you can move that independently, freely, but it has to go along with the neck. It's like taking your little brother to the park because your mom tells you, well, if you're going to be going out to the park with your friends, you have to bring your little brother with you as well. And everybody's like, oh, Mom, he's always just so embarrassing. And then they probably always say, well, you were embarrassing when you were his age as well. I'm speaking from personal example. Anyways, though, like I said, he does have the ball joint. So the ball joint's right here. It's not going to be anywhere here in the head. So because the neck is the only thing that's really doing the rotational. You can rotate the head back and forth this way. It does look up. It does look down. And yes, you can move it back and forth as well. Not that I would say that the articulation is also in the cape, but I mean, the fact that you can move it, really, I guess you could say there's a little bit of posability in the cape as well. Upper torso is going to be also on a ball joint. There's a ball joint at the base of the torso as well, so you can move that also as well. The arms come out the exact same way as the other Batman. Not quite at 90 degrees. In fact, a little bit higher up than 90 degrees. And of course, you've got that socket joint in there as well, just to conceal the joint on the actual shoulder. The figure doesn't have he has a swivel right here in his bicep. The figure also has a double hinge on the elbow. I don't really know what I was going to say for a second, but he has a swivel there in his elbow, in his bicep. There we go. He does also have a double hinge on the elbow, and the hands do, of course, rotate all the way around. Back down to his utility belt, which once again, we've got a more basic looking utility belt. It almost looks like a big giant frisbee attached onto the front and tiny little capsules on the side. No bat shield. I don't think there's a place to really be able to store that. But again, if you had little capsules, Batman back then would have had more just kind of tiny capsules, ropes, little utility belts or little batarangs. He would not have big giant gadgets, and therefore he probably wouldn't have needed large pockets either. But the legs do split out. As they split out, you can probably hear how loud they actually are. There's ratcheted joints on the inside of the legs there. You can move them forward, squeaky. You can move it back, equally squeaky. You can rotate it at the top of the thigh. Once again, a double hinge on the knee. And again, you've got that reflection there on the boot that has no articulation, so you can't move this back and forth, but you can at least move the ankle. Those move freely up and down this way. Back and forth is fine as well. And you can, of course, get that toe articulation going there as well. Love the toe articulation. At the end of the day, same Batman, yes. But, again, like the cosmetic changes that they've made, and it's solely cosmetic because, again, like if you bring back in the original Batman, nothing was really changed from a molding standpoint. It's just the case that they actually just changed. I mean, it could have also been a good opportunity that they could have given maybe a grimace on his face instead. So instead of having just a neutral expression like this Batman had, they could have given a different expression so it looked even more like a completely different Batman. I like the blue on the interior of the cape. I think that adds a little bit of extra charm. Whether you are a big fan of actually the little bit of reflection that he has on the top of his head and actually in the boots, and if you really want to be one that analyzes a light directional, like if the light's coming down this way, no, we're not going to. He's just got some additional blue painted on his boots and the top of his cowl. I still, though, I think like the purple gloves on the original Detective Comics number 27 Batman. I think the purple gloves work a little bit better. And I think from remembering reading that first issue, not that I had the original issue, I wasn't time jumping back to the time of 1939, picking up an issue for 10 cents, but I have, of course, reprints. I mean, I'm sure everybody has a reprint of the first appearance of Batman. I think from what I remember, he had like purplish gloves. Because of that, I think also the purple works really well with the color and just the overall color scheme of this Batman. But I like the blue cape. I like the interior of the blue cape. I think it adds a little bit of extra pizzazz to Batman. And whether you do actually feel like I feel, perhaps the figure is maybe a little bit too big. They maybe should have slimmed this guy down a little bit. I mean, still think a Nightfall Batman body probably would have worked a little bit better for it being a first appearance of Batman and all. I do really like the approaches that they made where both of the Batmans look very different from one another, even though they are really using this exact same mold. I'm pretty sure I may have mentioned this in another review when it had a fabric cape. Oh, maybe it was the Cassandra Cain Batgirl review, where I said that if they are planning to use fabric capes, they should be very selective with the characters that they decide to put fabric capes on. That don't just change the format now and put it on every single caped character, but maybe, again, go sparingly so that when they do get around to putting fabric capes on these figures, it means something. And no better way, I think, to use a fabric cape than on the first appearance of Batman. The fabric cape has a life of its own. I mean, as you can see, the way I've got the figure posed maybe looks a little ugly from the back, but it certainly does look good from the front. I'm going to be putting this guy on the shelf pretty much as you're seeing right now. Likely going to be leaving off the wrench. I likely have left the wrench off for the other displaying of the Batman, even though it is an included accessory referencing, I'm sure, back to the original issue. I just don't think I have a purpose. Plus, as well, the hands, I don't think are designed at all to hold the wrench properly. I'm just going to put it back in the bag with some of the other DC Multiverse accessories I've yet to really put on display with my figures. Really nice looking figure, though. I mean, whether, again, you like the additional blue highlights that they put on the top of the cowl and, again, in the boots, but I feel like, again, if you're going to be putting it there and wherever this light source is actually coming down on, I think should also have been reflected in the trunks. I mean, again, too much of that would have ruined the figure. But again, with him only having the black and the cowl, the boots, and the trunks, I think those should have been the 3 points that they should have focused their attention on, putting those additional blue highlights in. What do you guys think of the figure? Let me know down below in the comments section. Have you picked up any one of these, by the way, whether it be the retail release or the Platinum Edition First Appearance Batman? If so, which one did you guys end up getting? Or maybe, hey, you ended up getting both. Of the two, by the way, though, even if you haven't yet picked up these figures, which one do you like more? The retail release that's all just a black Batman, or do you like the additional highlights? Do you think that adds a little bit more character to the Batman figure, or do you feel it detracts a little bit from it? Big thank you once again to the folks over at McFarlane Toys that did provide this sample of the Platinum Edition Detective Comics number 27 Batman. We could have a look in this review. I took a bit of a gap space from the last time I looked at that Batman, so it wasn't just a case where we looked at the Batman and a day later we looked at this one. I wanted to take a little bit of a break, me as well, too, so I can go back and appreciate this figure for what it is. A really nice looking Batman. If you guys did enjoy this video, I want to throw it a like. Why not? You're here. You're doing things. I'm doing things. I'm making the content. You're doing things by watching the content. And between that exchange, you don't have to pay me in early 1939 money. But yeah, just throw it a like. Why not? And if you're also wanting to stick around for more and you haven't yet done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and you're turning on the bell notification. We're going to have some more DC Multiverse reviews coming your way. But in the meantime, if you want to, again, satisfy your craving for more DC Multiverse reviews, popping up at the very end of this video will be, in fact, a playlist of other things I've looked at in the DC multiverse realm. And there's certainly going to be more videos coming your way, guys. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.